Audio log number 11. I completely fell asleep yesterday, but this log is meant for April 14th, 2023. Oh, there's a plane. Alright, this time recording this, it is the 15th, 11:10 a.m. But we'll just film another one later today, for this day. So, let me try to recall what happened yesterday. Yesterday, was a Friday, so went to school, and they did an Easter egg hunt for seniors during advisory, and they had two activities. One was like walking with a balloon in between your two legs and not letting that fall, at the same time as carrying an egg on a spoon and not letting that fall. And you had to get to another side to switch with the partner that you were paired with. And they'd have to go to the other side to meet you once you give the stuff to them. And then the next one was just a hot potato with an egg. And they had a bunch of seniors in a circle for that. And the prizes for those two were baskets filled with lollipops, candy, chocolate, whatever. And then for the final big thing, they had the egg hunt. They didn't really hide any eggs. They kind of just like sprawled them out throughout the field. Like they literally just threw them onto the grass. And it wasn't a think smarter thing. It was more of a how fast can you get to the eggs? And they had a golden egg that will win you a basket if you found it. And I didn't really care too much. I only wanted to find the golden egg to hide it, to see like what would happen if no one got it. But I didn't really run to find an egg or do anything like that. I just walked, I just took the time to kind of walk and relax. There was tons of people there though. They were running and pushing, and most people didn't get any eggs at all. It was kind of sad to the people who wanted an egg. But one thing I noticed was that there was a lot of open eggs, and they were like cut in half and stuff like that. They literally opened them and then put them back onto the field. They just took the prize. So there was a lot of littering on the field that day. Kind of sucked. And I didn't really find any eggs. I saw some up ahead, but they were being taken. What I found though was a biscuit with a bite taken out of it, just laying there. I thought it was a mushroom until I got closer, and I was surprised. Yeah, I didn't pick it up though, because I don't know where that's been. So, after that, went to period 2, then this dude just like came up to me and my friend, and just like started showing us his Instagram stories, his highlights, which was just a bunch of nonsensical like propaganda, like political memes, and it was kind of not really funny, but I had to kind of just fake it. I didn't fake it fully, but he asked like, "What do you think?" And I was like, oh yeah, he said, "What do you think about the whole thing?" Like, oh my gosh, when he showed us the highlight, it was like 50. No, that's not. It was like 30 highlights. where this where the bars that separated the stories were circles, and I like some of them. I just didn't pay attention to it. I started doing other things, but he asked after, and I said there's some that stand out, but overall I didn't really find them all too funny. And then I generously gave him, he said rate out of 10, and I generously gave him a 7. And that took most of the period, which was kind of annoying, but whatever. Period 3. Oh, at lunch. Lunch I didn't do much. I don't even remember what I did for lunch. Oh, wait. Never mind. We had club lunch. This time we met at the poetry club classroom to pick up some of their poems for the manuscripts, the illuminated manuscripts that we're doing with with our club, or literacy, and the poetry club. So we're picking up their poems so we could draw kind of like a border around them and whatever illustration that relates to it. And it was a good meeting. I feel like stuff is getting done better than normal. We have probably around 5 poems. It's not too bad. I think we're getting more. Yeah. When the sponsor of the club asked if the poetry club wanted to share their poems, we had one guy who shared his poem, and he gave like a whole kind of prequel little story to it. I shouldn't say prequel. Prequel is a sequel, but that's placed before it. Is prologue the correct thing to say? No, he just gave us like a little bit of lore that happened before to set up the poem, which I thought was kind of funny. Like, why would we need all that information to be told to us before we read the poem? Why not just make a poem that has that information in it? And, include the other stuff that you wrote afterwards. But when he said it, when he read the poem, he read it, when he read it, it was pretty good. Definitely got the sorrow feelings he was saying, or about. No, yeah, but he told us the stuff that happened before the poem was a battle, and the people that it takes point of view from in the poem were the losers in the battle, and that everyone's depressed. And then he finds this one girl wearing a red dress that he takes a liking to, or whatever. Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty cool. Nice to take a view from the loser's side. But yeah, I don't think he should have told us the entire backstory to it. I think he should have written it. Okay. And then there's these 2 girls that they didn't read their poem. They read the first sentence laughing, or like snickering, or whatever like that. And they couldn't finish it. They were like nervously laughing. They got one. Okay, I should say that poem was written by 3 people, and 2 girls were reading it. One girl started reading it, like nervously laughed, and then couldn't continue, and gave it to the other girl, and then she did the same thing, and then they passed it on to the guy, and then he did the same thing. So they didn't finish reading that one. And then there was this one girl who had a really long poem, So she just read the first stanza, but she read it really fast that I couldn't really understand anything. And she didn't read it with the flow of the poem. So it just came off as kind of robotic. And then she said, "I'm done. That's all I'm reading." And everyone just kind of clapped, but we didn't really hear her. And then there's this one person, the final one, who actually read their poem. It was about being kind of encaged. And it was pretty good too. So we clapped for her, and then we moved on to saying, "Yes, we will decorate your poems. Do you need any requests? Do you have any requests that we should draw specifically? Anything that stands out in your poem that you want to be put in like a physical medium?" And then some of them said, yeah, and some of them were like, no, you could just do whatever. Okay, now on to third period. Third period, we just discussed a lot. We had a poem that had a literacy, by the way. Not literacy. I bet that fart noise sounds weird on the audio. It just sounded like I didn't. Okay. Sounded like I didn't acknowledge it. I think you'll still do it. You'll still make a fart noise when you mess up in the sentence. I'm sure you will. It's habit. I don't know if it's a bad habit, but you'll deal with that later if it's in, informal. Okay. I meant literature. AP Lit, we had a poem about, what was it about? What was it about? Nature. Okay. It talked about warples. I think those are the birds. And then moths, and then comparing them to humans. And then nature, and then how you can notice something in nature, even though, there's tons of things. You could always separate something specific from the huge mess of things that is nature. Like you could look at something you could specifically look for something in a whole group of some makeshift animal kingdom, makeshift ecosystem, and find it. That's what it was about. And it also talked how nature is a spectacle that's like unfathomable. Yeah, we did a little test on that, and then we discussed it afterwards. That's what we did. And then for, fourth period, we did nothing because we were all cut up. All right, and then after school, I went to watch the Mario movie with Frida, and it was surprisingly better than I thought, but it was also like a bit not disappointing, but it didn't live up to the expectation. But it didn't really have much expectation, It was Illumination, so yeah. And oh my god, I feel like that's the worst movie I had to sit through while holding my pee. For some reason it was so painful. Yeah, it was. Mario movie had its moments, but there was some things that were in the plot that were kind of like really easily taken away or brought in, Like they go and recruit the Kong army, and then they get, I think like literally 10 minutes later, they get captured. Like they didn't even do anything. They got recruited, didn't do anything, got captured. So it was like, why were they even there in the first place, you know? Why did they decide to put them in the movie if they did nothing? And then they also had like the ending. Like I know they get the star, invincible, but it's like, man, that's way too easy. I thought they were gonna have Bowser get the star and use it, and then they were gonna have to do a difficult task to defeat Bowser and stuff like that. They're gonna have to avoid him till he has the star power or whatever. And the ending was kind of abrupt. I didn't really know what was happening. I mean, not what was happening. I didn't really know what the conclusion was. It was like they defeated him, and they didn't really stay on their home world as much. It was like, did they resolve with their family the troubles that their family has in the real world or something, or they just leave them? I don't know. Okay. I give it a 6 out of 10. It was enjoyable overall. I will say the animation was nice at first, but then it kind of gets like, it kind of becomes normal, you know. There's nothing really surprising after. It doesn't really change throughout the movie. Like it doesn't stimulate you all the way throughout the movie. You kind of just decide, you know, okay, it's gonna be like this for the rest of the movie sometimes, you know. It's like it doesn't get worse. It just loses its first impression. It's nicely animated, but it doesn't really matter if it's nicely animated if it doesn't really do anything with it. That's the best I'll say. Okay. Then I went to In-N-Out afterwards, and then I had animal style fries, and Frida shared half of her burger with me. The tomato in the burger hit different. I like immediately noticed something was wrong with it, and I had a stomach ache after. And then I got home like at 8, and I just fell asleep, so I didn't record this, but now it's recorded. So that's great. And I'm done.